Hey guys, Forsaken Reality here. In this video, I'm going to be integrating our advanced ladder climbing system into multiplayer system version 3. So within this video, we'll be able to climb on the ladder, climb up and down the ladder, and exit the ladder, and it'll unequipped and re-equipped our weapon. Not going to shoot because it's loud. One out of the way. And you're going to want to copy a multiplayer system and the ladder climbing. Just before we migrate that over, we want to go into our project settings, collision, and new trace channel, and we'll ignore by default, and we'll call this ladder and accept. And once that's done, now we can migrate over this. Put that in our content folder. And that's all we need to do for that. Our ladder climbing system and multiplayer system. First thing we're going to do is come into demo, character meshes, and we'll delete the skeleton since they have the same skeleton, so animations will be replaced with the new skeleton and it'll work properly. Just the text test, so we will just take a quick look at animation. It works fine. And now that we have that done, first thing we're going to want to do is open up our master character blueprint from the ladder climbing. And in multiplayer system, open up our master character here. And we'll go into our master character. Right here, begin play in our event graph. Copy this orange node. We'll just stick that in here. We'll actually want to add our ladder climbing component to our character first. So that'll set our reference when we are possessed. And now we want to go to, well, I guess we'll do the interaction since we are here. And for our interaction, we want to go to our master character, come down here, grab this node. So we can grab it all, copy it, paste it, and just remove that. And let's connect this like that. In between there. Leave that up to you to organize and make them look nicer. And that's all for the ladder interaction we'll need to do. I'm gonna put on success only, so when I compile, I'll also save my files if there's no errors. Next thing we're gonna want to do is deal with our movement. So we'll come into here, There's a few movement things to adjust in here. Input axis turn. After that, we'll just get it on ladder check here. Copy that, and if we're not on a ladder, allow rotation. If we are, then you don't want a character turning around on the ladder. We can also get this move forward and hold the control. We can drag and select all this as well. So I have this selected and this control C to copy. And that was the move forwards, right? Yep, move forward. Paste that in here. You can also just call the name forwards of this node and it will give you a axis value function, which is basically what it will give you this right here. Makes it a little easier to organize your work. Put this in like that. And if we are not on a ladder, we'll just do our normal movement. And for this one, we'll just copy this node up here for the ladder check. Control C, Control V. Put axes and move that out of the way. Give us some room. And if we are not on a ladder, we'll be able to move left and right. Otherwise, we don't want to move left and right on a ladder. That's all the movements in here. There's a few things in the action mapping. So we want our ladder sprinting. So we'll copy these two nodes. Paste those in, and we'll also want a ladder check. Copy that. And we'll paste that twice. Control V and Control Z to paste and copy. And if we are on a ladder, we want to enable ladder sprinting. Just gonna hold Alt and click this, and it's gonna break the connections. So I can plug them in over here and have a little more organization. So pressed and released. Set and disable ladder climbing, but if we're not on a ladder, we'll do our normal sprinting input. Same thing for here. And there is the sprinting. Organize that a little. And we'll also want to do the jumping setup. So we can jump off a ladder if you want to do that. Otherwise, you can just skip this part if you don't want to be able to jump off a ladder. And so we have these, we have the check. That's really all that's happening here. So we'll want this. Copy this. Down to the sprint, or the jump, sorry. Hold Alt and click to break two of these. Actually, you don't need to break this one. You can select all three of these nodes and actually bring them over. I only brought these ones over specifically a little bit of organization there, so it's pressed. We'll check if we're on a ladder, do all the disable ladder climbing, and then do our jump. And if we're not on a ladder or we're not transitioning, we will just do our normal jumping. So it's just checking there and skipping it. And there's our jumping code set up. Come into here. This should be switched over in the next update for the ladder climbing component. I'm pushing up for conflicts, I just noticed, but this one right here is the fast animation. And we want this one, I believe. It's not this one, it's the other one. Set that. And a couple other values we are going to want. That's where is it? Distance. And we'll set this distance to 57. We want to come over to our capsule. Bring the size down. 42 is the actual default size. It's going to set that. And we can leave that. Next thing we're going to want to do is open up our master NBP. And multiplayer system. Search for NMBP. And project crash, probably due to a memory issue I'm having. 1 second. Alright, now that I'm back from that, search for the multiplayer system NMBP and open up that as well. And we'll go into our event graph. We're going to want to copy this orange node. Go to our event graph over here. We'll just add a pin. Paste this down here. And connect it up here. We can remove this _2. Now right click and create this ladder variable. Right click the movement state. And we'll want to replace this with the MPS, which is the character for this NMBP, the reference for it, as you can see right here. And then we want to go to our anim graph. And in here we're going to copy this and these orange nodes. Control C. Paste those in, Control V. Wait for it to load. And another memory issue. Computer's having some memory issues. Sorry about that. 1 minute. Okay, so like I did before, my memory crash, something to do with my RAM. Should have that fixed for tomorrow. Glad I got this video done, so I'm gonna paste that in. You guys shouldn't run into those crashes, just my PC. Connect this here. And finally, it's over, not on a ladder. This pose and default ladder pose will be the ladder. I'll also want to put a default slot in here to allow our animations montages to perform properly. Okay, now we will need, I believe that's it for the NBP. Yep, now we will need to go into our ladder climbing system blueprints and into the ladder climbing component. And for We'll open up this enter ladder function. We're going to want to, after this set moving, we're going to drag out of this. And we will set this value to false. This will prevent rotations on the ladder. And then we'll also look for the disable ladder climbing. And the same thing. This time we're going to set it back to true because by default it's true in the project. It's something we'll need to allow our player to rotate place but not on a ladder. And now we're going to go back to our event graph. Right here we're going to call our character ref. Cast to MPS master character. Let's hold control and you can drag. Just drag all these over here. And we're going to get our active slot, which gets our current active weapon. We're going to look for holster. Server holster. I'm going to set this to a really high value so that it will quickly do before we enter into the ladder. And then we'll plug in the enter ladder. That will be the holster weapon when we enter our ladder. And in here we can cast the MPS character. And again, we'll get our active slot, get our active weapon, and we'll search for draw. Get server draw. And plug it into that slot. You can set this value to whatever you want. I'm just going to set it to 1.5. That'll draw the weapon when you leave the ladder. Let's open up the ladder map and see if we have any issues here. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Wait for the shaders to compile. And I'll load this up. Here, one moment. Alright, so I found a problem for whatever reason. When I go into my ladder climbing component, and I'll go to trace for ladder. My trace channels were set to another one, so you want to come in here and find references on this. So we'll set this one to ladder, and this one's to ladder, and the next climb up location. Turn our way down. Anyone that's set to damage, we will set to the ladder. Notice this one's set to visibility, we want to keep those. And these slide down ones are at the bottom. Also set all as ladder. Okay. And we have the wrong animation set there. I set the opposite hand I needed to earlier on. So in here we'll go to, in our character, we will go to our ladder climbing component. Cams. Slow. Set to this one. Nope. This one. So you just need to select the animation and then click the arrow here. And it'll set the right one. May not need to do that in future, so we have the right slow animation already set there, then just ignore that. And let's check it out now. There may be some location adjustments that need to be done. Alright, so after a bit of quick testing, there's some values we're going to want to adjust. So we're going to come into our character and BBC ladder climbing component. Go down to the tracing section and set this to 55. And in the distance, we'll set to 57. You can adjust those values, play with those ones, and they'll help with aligning your hands. Different characters. For some reason, this character seems to have a little bit different one than our 34 mannequin. I'm not 100% sure why that is. But after adjusting those values, you'll see we'll get a proper climb. But you'll also notice that your weapon is not really going onto your chest the way it should. I actually forgot one more thing in our event graph. I'm gonna drag it up here until next tick. And that's after the holster in our ladder climbing component. So now we enter on the ladder. Our weapon is on our chest. And we climb up the ladder. Good to go. You end up having issues with how close your character is to the ladder or things like this. This right here you can bring this in a little bit closer to your ladder for the bottom, and this one will adjust the top. You can bring this a little closer, and this will allow your starting position to be adjusted, and it'll basically realign you. There's a couple things I want to go over and fix due to the client-sided replication. So first thing we're going to do is replace the character reference in this, and if this is already done, then you'll just need to delete this right here and everything will just work. Otherwise, just going to go in here to the component, come to our event graph, And we can just delete this. And we're going to search for event begin play. We're going to get our owner of the component. Cast character. We're going to get the base character class, so we'll get any character that's sent into here, including AI if you were wondering. And we're going to set this as our character reference. Replication to replicated for our reference. And this will be the new way we're going to set our character reference, which will work a lot better. And another fix we're going to want to do, we're going to want to drag it up here and search for a delay, just a regular delay node. Set this to 0.1. This isn't long enough of a tick for the client to register it, so we have this done. And now our final thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to just find references to this set controller rotation yaw. We're going to come into our replication graph, and up right here I'm just going to right click. I'm going to get my character reference first, and I'm going to set use controller rotation yaw, create a custom event, server use controller rotation yaw, and disconnect that. We're not going to need that. We're going to create another custom event. Use controller rotation yaw, multicast and reliable, server and reliable, make sure they're the right ones. And for the multicast we will set this, and up here we will search for multicast, use control rotation yaw, that'll be our rotation yaw. And now that since we searched these two, enter and disable ladder climbing in these two functions, we're going to want to come in here, server use controller rotation yaw, and delete that. And we can just control C here and copy that node, control V to paste it. And we'll also replace it here. And you'll want to make sure to tick this on. And that should be everything. And I might actually set the delay to 0.2. So we'll go back to our event graph. That's going to be everything. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave those in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.